Lions have been Knights of the Blind since Helen Keller's challenge in 1925. The site programs of Lions International are robust. They focus on services for the blind and visually impaired and aim to eliminate preventable and reversible blindness. The new initiative for health and wellness encompasses and expands the Lions Health Outreach Organization, continuing to serve the growing number of people who need free health and wellness clinics. The initiative focuses on all people who live at or near the poverty line, including those who are not insured or underinsured. Lions do this by organizing medical missions and community health projects and supporting health programs of any size to control and prevent many diseases. We want to promote, demonstrate, and teach about healthy nutrition from the plant or animal to the plate. One exciting project is the aquaponic organic greenhouse gardening system, which uses little space, little water, and grows profuse and nutritious fruits and vegetables very inexpensively. Lions are in an excellent position to offer this type of gardening technique to local schools and community centers. Lions Health Clinics are often the first line of defense for many people, especially the poor and the sick. These clinics work to detect and prevent chronic disease, educate our communities on lifestyle choices people can manage, and make referrals to free clinics or doctors. We invite all Lions to get involved with the Initiative for Health and Wellness to build a brighter future for our communities. Please sign the brochure you were given so you can receive regular updates and information about the initiative. Thank you.
Clinics are what you make them. You can do a clinic with just blood pressure and glucose, or blood pressure and blood oxygen, or just blood pressure. This clinic also can include eyes and ears. Your community will let you know what's needed. You can take any part of this clinic, make it your own. You can add things to a clinic that you don't see here for the good of your community. Now, we have forms that you can download from the internet that will tell you what you actually need when you do a clinic. This form is an indemnification. This is the release from liability. After they sign the form, you can then take one of our very own evaluation sheets, which will record all the numbers in this clinic for that particular person. Keep everything in a safe place. After a year goes by, you can discard the second sheet, but always keep this sheet. Mark it with the clinic that you're doing so that everybody knows what date and what clinic you did. Have clipboards, plenty of them ready, because you're going to want to clip a copy onto the clipboard right above his evaluation sheet. And his evaluation sheet will be on top. Then there will be a carbon copy right underneath it with a piece of carbon paper in between, so that he will get the top copy and we will keep the bottom copy. Remember that you may not share this information with anyone. So let's do the first one. I'm going to put this blood pressure cuff on, and you see this blue line here? And you see the wire that goes right from that blue line to the machine? That's the one that has to be closest to the middle of your arm, so it can take the pressure from that vein right in the middle of your arm. And now, while we're waiting for the blood pressure machine to give you the numbers, we're going to use an oximeter, which will give us the amount of oxygen that's in your blood. When your blood oxygen, and it says so right here, is lower than 97, then you need to drink more water. Why is that? Well, we need water to go through our bloodstream so it can go up to our brain so we can think. Remember, health is in your hands. If your pressure is too high, I can give you a handout that will tell you exactly what to do. We have another machine which is called the Life Source machine, where we take a child's blood pressure. So you notice that the wire comes out right there, right by the line, and that's the piece that goes right in the crook of the arm. It gets tightened around the child's arm, and remember to tell the child that he's going to feel some pressure and that it doesn't mean anything and it doesn't really hurt and it's only for a minute. So this way they're not afraid of the machine. In fact, children like to know what their blood pressure is, just like they like to know exactly what their heart sounds like. You can actually have young people use a stethoscope to determine what their heart sounds like. Now that we've finished this particular station, we can go on to the next. I will give you your chart so you can bring it to the next station. I would like to explain to you exactly what's involved in doing glucose and cholesterol. But first, let me tell you that you can separate glucose and cholesterol. You can just do glucose, if you like, by using a small machine such as this, using one of the sticks, placing it in the machine, taking a lancet, taking the top off the lancet, like so. There's a tiny needle. Wash the finger of the person you're working with an alcohol rub. Prick the finger. Make sure that there's enough blood so that it can go into the actual strip. And the machine will give you the reading. Most people want glucose and cholesterol. The LDX machine will give you both of those numbers. This tray contains everything that we will use in this process. So what I have taken out is a small Band-Aid. That's over here. I have taken out a needle, a blue needle, which is a larger needle, and it will produce more blood. The reason we need more blood is because we have a vial, and that vial needs to be filled up to the black stop right there in the middle of the vial. We're then going to put in the plunger. It's a little black plunger, and when the vial is full of blood, we're going to push it through. This is a cartridge that holds the blood. So we will then push the blood into the cartridge. We will then open the door of the LDX machine. And after we put all the blood into the cartridge, we throw the needle in the toxic waste bin. The cartridge goes into the LDX machine and we close the door. So let's actually do this. The first thing I do is I have 2 alcohol preps. I take one of those alcohol preps and I clean Bill Britta's finger. I make sure it's nice and clean. There we go. Now that his finger is all clean, and my fingers are all clean, I can put on my gloves. And why do I put on gloves? Well, it's very simple. I don't want to take blood from someone else and give it to Bill Britta when I prick his finger. And I don't want to give Bill Britta's blood to anyone else. So every time I work with someone, I change my gloves. So let's continue. I will twist the needle so that it's at the ready. And I'm going to ask you to palpitate your arm. That's it. Push the blood down because I need a lot of blood for this particular test. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Only stings for a second. Now that I've got a vial full of Bill's blood, I'm going to make sure it gets in the cartridge. I'm going to take the cartridge with the blood in it, and I'm going to make sure it gets into the machine. This is our LDX machine, and I'm going to run the machine. So now I've closed the machine, and it will give me a number for both glucose and cholesterol. It will take 3 to 3.5 minutes to do it. You must understand that at every clinic, you need to have 1 or more of these. I like to have 3 of them on hand at all times. If you have a lot of people at a clinic, make sure you have 3 or more. When they fill up, close them. It has a cover. Close it up and keep it until you have enough of a collection that you can either bring them to your police department where they take toxic waste bins, or bring them to your nearest dump where they usually have toxic waste bins as well. Okay, I'm taking the cartridge out and I'm throwing it away, and I now have the reaction from the machine for both glucose and for cholesterol. And now it's time for us to move on to the next station. The first thing we want to do is get you on the scale so we can see how much you weigh. So let's take your height, and I'll use your chart to put on your head there to get a right height. There we go, 6'2" inches. Okay, so what we do is we take your height and we take your weight and we see where that comes together. And that will give us a number of your body mass index. So at 6'2", that's 74 inches, right? So half of 74 inches is 37. So now we're going to do your belly fat, because your waist has to be no more than 37. If it is, then you have a little belly fat, even though you're a good weight. So I'm going to check for the belly button right there. So the belly button is important because that's where we want the waist to be, right there. And you're at 37. So guess what? You don't have belly fat, and you're number 23, you're in good shape. So if you don't mind, I'll give you your chart back and follow me to the station where we do the inflammation scan. The first thing we do is we turn the computer on. So my computer's on, and it's telling me to do a dark scan, which I'll do. So it'll scan. That opens up the machine. Okay, and now I'll do an operator scan, that's me. So I'll scan myself so they know who I am, and I'm an authorized scanner. And this will be your card. This card is going to go with you when you leave so that you will know exactly and remember exactly where you were. Remember that red, if you register in the red, that's in the low 10 to 20,000. Not so good. You could be not feeling well, or you could be on the verge of a disease. If you're in the orange, it means that you're better than the red, but you have work to do. So if you change your diet here and here, you can probably get yourself up to here, which is the yellow. And that's pretty normal, but we want you to be better than that. We want you to be at a peak. So we want to get you through your food to get to the green and or the blue. At that point, you will be feeling really good. So it's a matter of teaching you how to prepare your food and what foods you're going to eat from here on. So let's take a look and see where you are. I'm going to scan in this number. You see there's a number there. I'm going to scan that in the machine, and I'm also going to put your name in. Very good. So you're all ready to go and the machine is ready. So I'm going to ask you to put your hand against the knob there when I take this cap off. And you're going to put that little knob right about there on your hand. And the light is going to come right through to your cells and measure in that cell what your inflammation level is. So I'll take the cap off. That's it. Put your hand right there. Hold tight. We don't want any air or light shining in there. Okay. Very good. Now this will take a minute or two to scan to let me know where on this scale you are. Well, your inflammation level is totally down. You are in the blue, which is a very, very high number. So what I'd like to say is congratulations, you've done very well. So again, I'd like to thank you for coming, and I'd like you to also know that if you would like to work with us in the future and volunteer at some of our clinics, we welcome you. We would also like you to know that you are always welcome to be a Lion. We would be honored to have you as a Lion. So we don't want you to leave without considering those two things. What is required for you to have good nutrition and a good diet? The first thing you need to do is always remember that you need to read the labels, because you want to make sure that whatever product you're buying has in it what it says it has in it. Next is your serving size. Serving size tells you what is a reasonable portion. For dairy, we could have cheese, or milk, or ice cream. That will give you one idea. Let's look at fruits. You can do bananas. Bananas, look at that. Great banana. You can do watermelon, right? Very good for you, watermelon. Now let's look at grains. Let's look at a whole grain. We're going to do pasta, but whole grain pasta. Very, very good for you. Or we're going to do crackers. Whole grain crackers, always whole grain. The same with rice. We're going to do whole grain brown rice, not white rice, which takes away all of the beautiful, wonderful vitamin B shell around it. We're not going to do that. We're going to do a whole grain rice. We're going to do a very small portion of meat, fish, or chicken. Very small, no bigger than your fist. Now vegetables. Look at how many carrots you can have. You can have eggplant. See that? You can have spinach. You can have any vegetable you like, and you can have 2 fistfuls. That's how many vegetables you can have. Make sure that you follow this chart and get in all of those vitamins that are contained in the meat and in the whole grains and in the vegetables and fruit that you're eating. Now let's look at some nutritional facts. Let's look at French fries. 487 calories in one small package of French fries. That's a lot of calories. That's enough for one meal without the hamburger. French fries have a lot of fats, 25 grams. They have saturated fats, 3 whole grams. That's a lot of fat. No cholesterol, but they have sodium, lots of salt, 350 milligrams. That is a day's worth of salt. Carbohydrates, 60 grams. Fiber, 6 grams. Sugars, no. Protein, 6. Let's now go down here and look at Taco Bell. Taco Bell has a beefy 5-layer burrito, a Fiesta taco salad, an express taco salad, and a Mexican pizza. Okay, which has the fewest number of calories? That's the Mexican pizza, 270 calories. Let's look at your drinks. What are you drinking these days? But before we do, let me show you how much sugar you can have in a day, which is the daily limit of sugar to make you healthy. So here we are. This is the daily maximum limit for added sugars, 6 teaspoons. Let's look at how much sugar is actually in a Snapple. Here's your Snapple, and look at this. Well, you've got 2 days worth of sugar in there. You've got 14 teaspoons of sugar in Snapple. Look at your vitamin drink. 8 teaspoons of added sugar in your vitamin water. That's too many. Too many. Here we go, your Monster drink. Your Monster drink, Mega Monster. Well, 20¼ teaspoons of sugar, all in one. That's what you're getting every time you drink one Monster drink. That's a lot of sugar. It's impossible for a body, when it's small, to take that much sugar without repercussions. And repercussions could be overactivity, lack of concentration, wanting to sleep when it calms down. So think about it. Here's your Gatorade. Well, 8.5 teaspoons, a couple of teaspoons over and above what you really need. So you must be careful. If you're going to drink it, drink half of it. That would be okay. And save the rest for tomorrow. Here's your orange soda. Looks harmless enough, right? 18 teaspoons in orange soda. That's a lot of sugar. Too much if you're a young person, and even if you're not a young person, much too much. This can cause diabetes. Everything you eat contains sugar. So you must read labels to make sure you're not getting too much sugar, because this is how much added sugar is in food. So every day, without you knowing it, you're getting 26 more teaspoons of sugar in the foods that you don't even know sugar is in. You will find out there's sugar in everything. Watch your frozen foods. That's very, very important. Watch all of the foods that you buy that are fresh foods behind the counter already cooked. They have sugar in them. They taste good. That's the idea. They taste good, you want more. The more sugar is in your food, the more you want to eat, because the less nutrition there is. This is the average amount of added sugar eaten in 1 month. That's 16 cups. That's amazing. That's too much sugar in our bodies. That's why we get disease. So let's break this down and look at how many teaspoons make up a gram. So there's 1 teaspoon of sugar equals 4 grams. 4 grams equals 1 cube of sugar. 1 cube of sugar equals 1 sugar packet. Now we're going to look at the whole grain kernel. The endosperm, which is your vitamin B complex, very important protein, you need that. If you take that away from the whole grain, then all you have is the starch. And you take away the bran also, which has more vitamin B complex and trace minerals, which are the phytonutrients that you need in your diet. The germ, which is the essential fatty acid, and again, vitamin E and B complex vitamins, and more trace minerals. If you don't have the whole grain, you miss out on that, and you get little or no vitamins. Where can we get it? Not just in brown rice, but let me give you some idea of how and where you get all the whole grains. Are you ready? Amaranth. Look here. These small, tiny little beads. That's amaranth. That's a delicious, old, very ancient grain. Very good for you. It's a whole grain. Try it. Corn, not the GMO corn, but your real, organic, whole corn. It's very good for you. Quinoa, excellent source of protein and fiber. Excellent source of B vitamins. Barley, very good fiber. It's a whole grain. Same with farro. Farro's delicious. It's kind of sweet. It's delicious, and you can cook it with anything. It makes a wonderful casserole. Don't forget rye. Rye is good, not for everyone. Some people might be allergic to rye, but it's good for you if you're not allergic. We have spelt, another fully vitaminized grain. Definitely a whole grain. Kamut, brown rice again. Buckwheat. Buckwheat's not really a wheat, but it is a whole grain, so you can have it in abundance. Very good for you. Millet, wheat, wild rice, oats, and Bulgar wheat. So what are the benefits of eating whole grains? Number one, you get plenty of fiber, which your body needs in order to digest your food properly and bring the nutrition into your bloodstream. You need all the B vitamins you can get, and definitely by eating whole grains, you will get those B vitamins. So by getting the B vitamins, you're getting that protein. It's very important. You're balancing your energy when you eat whole grains. All of your energy will be totally balanced, and you won't have sugar lows. You won't feel as though you need a pick-me-up, because the B vitamins are there. They sustain you all day long. And better blood sugar balance. Your blood sugar will not spike at all, so your glycemic index will stay level. That's what you want in order to avoid obesity and diabetes and heart disease and many other diseases. We only want to eat things that give us the best nutrition without the calories. Now, you can go into McDonald's and spend 2,000 calories, or you can go to a farm and get the best produce and fruit in the whole world and get twice, 3 times the nutrition. This is what you want to aim for, the best nutrition you can.
Hi, my name is Sundown Hazen. I'm a co-founder of School Grown. We are an educational organization where we use aquaponics as a way to connect people with the food and the life that sustains us. Those large tanks back there are filled with catfish and koi and carp, and their water that they're living in is filtered through these growing systems where the natural ecology, the biology, the microbiology, worms, microbes get together to help feed the plants, thus also filtering the water so that that water returns clean back to the fish and they live in a fresh and clean environment. When we have all of those pieces together, that's when we're really going to have the best possible food. And because aquaponics is grown in such a small footprint, with such a small amount of water compared to dirt growing, we're able to put these farms in neighborhoods all around the world. So now we're helping the health of the planet by not having to move the food from one side of the planet to the other. We can really grow food where people live.
Let me introduce you to some of our handouts that I know you'll want to use in your clinics. This is a handout that is for natural painkillers, done by Dr. Forsythe, an MD of Integrative Medicine. It is an excellent sheet to give to your people. We also have a list of all of the tags that they put on foods. These tags will show you whether it's an organic food, a GMO food, or it is a food full of pesticides. The mere fact that it starts with a 9 in the little number on the tag means that it is a completely organic food. Superfoods are the foods that are necessary in everyone's daily diet. A wonderful idea. Choose your plate and it shows you what colors of the rainbow you need to eat every day. What is type 2 diabetes? Diabetes cookbook. All diabetics want to know how to take care of their feet so that no disaster will follow. Eating healthy on a budget. Be kind to your heart. Kid-friendly veggies and fruits. Cut back on your kids' sweet treats. Metabolic syndrome. Flu-fighting foods. Well, this one tells you what snacks you should eat and what snacks you shouldn't eat. because you don't want cholesterol and you don't want a heart attack. What you want is good health. We also have handouts for the healthiest foods on earth. What supplements and foods you should take when you have cancer or when you're recovering. We want you to know that we have a special gift for you. We have prescription drug cards that are from 15 to 55% off. And you can take it to your pharmacy and they will tell you whether or not your insurance will give you a greater discount than the card, or if the card will give you the greater discount. If you don't have insurance, it will act as insurance for you. We have always on hand Lions information at a handout table, including membership applications. So every time you have a clinic, you should be thinking that you're doing a membership drive. People want to become members of Lions when they see all the good things that we do. We would like you to take advantage of these clinics so that you can bring more service to your communities, both with children, adults, seniors, and the disabled. Come and do a clinic with us. You'll be so happy to bring it into the schools, and so will the children that you treat.
Please visit our website, where you will find additional documents. We have hundreds of handouts from authoritative sources, including the CDC, Harvard, the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, among others. In addition, there are many medical devices that are not shown in this video and can be obtained, such as glucose devices that do not require taking a drop of blood to calculate a blood sugar level, as well as blood pressure phone apps that are free, and many more. Each club is welcome to investigate and use whatever devices they believe will work for their community. Please feel free to contact us with any questions. For more information and additional DVDs, please fill out and return the insert found in our brochure.